What's up, everybody? It is just me and David tonight. Josh isn't feeling well, and we don't know where Zach's at. Zach's doing his own thing tonight, I guess. So we were going to originally do Avenged Sevenfold and Queens of the Stone Age, but I don't want to do Queens of the Stone Age without Zach, because like Queens of the Stone Age is like all right. When it comes to Zach, yeah, he'll get a kick out of this. When it comes to Zach, Green Day and maybe Queens of the Stone Age. Depends. Or like Queens of the Stone Age is like Zach's motherfucking shit. So I can't, with good conscience, do Queens of the Stone Age without Zach. Just like if we were just like with Korn, gotta have David. You know, Slipknot, gotta have David. Which, you know, I still haven't even heard that last Slipknot album.
I don't know.
Don't know what's going on.
You might be the only person that likes it though.
Right, Zach has played me a few songs, and I'm like, damn, this is actually pretty interesting. You know, like I never had that attachment to Slipknot like everybody does, but I've liked everything I've heard. But yeah, Zach's played me a few songs. I'm like, damn, that's like really cool. Damn sure ain't the Slipknot I'm sure people wanted.
Yeah, no, we all wanted the.
Oh God.
I don't know. Like I said, it's forgettable album, but whatever. We're not here to talk about Slipknot.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about today. We're talking about the new Avenged Sevenfold album. I have a bunch of notes. But what I like to do before we do any of these, I like to ask everybody on the Speaker Brains podcast and the other Facebook groups as well, and even my own personal Facebook. I ask you guys what your thoughts on the albums are, and didn't get a whole lot of hits, but. We will drop this. Travis Brannon, a newer guy in the group, says, alright, I just got done listening to both. While I enjoy both, I gotta give it to Avenged Sevenfold. Their new album was just so weird, yet so cool. Some synths, lots of prog, OG Sevenfold piano, instrumentals, really cool mix of things. I really enjoyed the mix on this one. As for Queens of the Stone Age as a new one, I enjoyed it, but unlike Avenged, most of this album kind of sounds similar. Not all of it, but most of it. Again, not all bad, but after hearing Avenged getting weird, this was a bit jarring. My scores: Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream, 9.5 out of 10. Queens of the Stone Age, in Times New Roman, 8 out of 10. And then our good buddy John Short, he says, New Queens is good. Like Clockwork is still my favorite of the last few they've done. I remember liking the last one, but I don't remember anything from it. Haven't heard the new A7X. And thank you guys for dropping some words. And if you want to join the fun, join us on the Speaker Brains group. Just type in Speaker Brains in your Facebook. And the only rule is don't be a dick.
Unless you're me.
Yeah, unless you're David. I've seen David get in some heated arguments with people. But just don't be a dick, man. Just respect opinions. Have fun. It's there. Most of the time it's people posting news or new songs from artists, or it's a place to share music and memes. And it's mostly music. I've seen some random non-music things float in there, but that's fine too. I mean, I'm not going to be like, it can only be music. I've seen people in groups be like, this is just a ghost group. Don't post anything that's not ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like
this is Ghost. Why are you talking about the guy who doesn't sound like this?
So, but yeah, like, you know, post what you want.
There's some snobs in the ghost groups.
Oh yes, there's snobs everywhere, but they get a little up there, man. But so. The new Avenged Sevenfold. So let me give you guys a little bit of history here. First time I heard the band, it was 2000. It was late 2006, and I was driving to work, and they used to do this thing. I've mentioned it before. The Cutting Edge on Rock 103. Well, they stopped doing that. That was in the 90s through the very early 2000s. They stopped doing it. Well, in the mid 2000s, around 2005ish, they brought it back. And I listened to it a few times because, you know, I'm getting up, I'm leaving for work at 5 in the morning, so it would still be playing back then. So I would listen to that shit on my way to work, and I heard, I caught Backcountry as soon as I turned the radio on, and it was right there at the fucking rad solo. And I was like, whoa, this is so cool, man. This is like some power metal shit, you know? And I was like, this is fucking cool. And dug it. Then they had Beast and the Harlot on Guitar Hero 2, maybe? And I was like, dude, this is rad as fuck too. It was a cover version, but, you know, the old Guitar Hero before they could license out songs. And I was like, this is cool. And then I, weirdly enough, found City of Evil at a pawn shop, maybe late 2006-ish. And I remember not getting into it that heavy. And went back to it later and really liked it, but then never like went too hard following the band. Then Self-Titled came out. I gave Josh, I bought that for Josh for Christmas when that came out, and actually just now have fully taken it in. I finally bought all their stuff. I've fully taken it in. Like the shit out of that. Still haven't heard Nightmare. Nightmare came in the mail today, and I haven't had a chance to listen. So I don't know nothing about Nightmare. But
I don't know nothing about it.
But I remember 2013-ish, no, 2014. I was working at this dog place, and the owner's son was working there, and he's like, dude, man, the new Avenged Sevenfold is so good. I'm like, oh yeah, them guys are cool, man. Like the shit. So he turns it on. Man, and I was like, this fucking sucks. I was like, what happened to these dudes? I was like, all of this, it sounds like Budweiser metal. It sounds like fucking just I'm like, it's good for what it is if you like just boring old thrash metal. I was like, everything I loved about this band is not in this album. You know, this band does more stuff that I love that they kept out of that album. I guess they made that album for, you know, just to...
Be on the radio.
Just boring ass shit. I get it. I get why they said they just wanted to make a straight rockin' album, and yeah, they did. But it is a slog to get through. It's hard for me to fucking pay attention. It is boring. It is. I've probably listened to it 4 times all the way through. When he played it a couple years ago, when Josh gave it to me, and then once last year, and then maybe 2 weeks ago, and still I'm just like, oh my god, what a slog. I was ready to write the band off. I was like, is this where they're at now? Is this what they're doing now? I'm like, we are here. I'm like, they cannot. Normally when bands start like really just dumbing their sound down and removing parts, it's a long time before parts come back, and when parts come back, it's never as good. It always feels like an apology, like a, here, you guys didn't like the one we just did, so here's this thing.
Thanks, Korn.
Yeah, you know,
Korn does that a lot.
Been dealing this with Korn for ages, so I was ready to write them off, man. And then the stage came out, and Josh was like, dude, this album's so good. I remember we reviewed it on our porch across the street when we lived there. And I remember loving the shit out of it. I was like, dude, they're back. They won me back. Fucking all the shit I didn't like about Hail to the King is not in here. Everything I love about the band is back with some extra sprinkles of shit. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers dropped some fucking heavy prog stuff. They've been slightly proggy on some of the earlier stuff. There are slight, just progressive moments.
Had their hardcore metal stage.
No, yeah, you had, and I like the evolution of this band. The evolution of this band is interesting. Started off hardcore metal or metalcore, whatever,
like
punky, yeah,
punky.
just, and a lot more screaming vocals. And then the second one, Waking the Fallen, kind of does the metalcore, but moves it back a little more and kind of gives you hints of what City of Evil was going to be. A little more clean singing, still some screams. The City of Evil happens, and it's like, that's where like everybody's like, oh man, he blew his vocals out. He didn't blow his vocals out. We're not going there. He just wanted to, he got with a vocal coach. He said, hey, these other 2 albums are screaming. I don't want to scream anymore. Help me sing, you know? And the dude sounds good, you know? And just kind of followed that style of singing, just like a sort of a scratchy cleanness, you know. And then, so Self-Titled, still haven't heard Nightmare. So we're back at the stage. I'm like, everything the stage is doing, I'm loving the shit out of it, right? And that was what, 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
The stage?
Mm-hmm. That was like 2016.
It came out right it was during the Trump and Hillary, because the only reason why I know that, it came out right after he won. So like, when did he win? 2012.
Yeah, 2016.
2016. Yeah, because he did the stage video was definitely political. I mean, the video for the stage,
and it's
the
epic,
song,
man. That whole
it really is. It's like all
epic.
puppeteers and stuff, but they had Hillary puppets and Trump puppet and stuff.
No, you're the puppet. You're the puppet.
So yeah, I mean that was a very political, like how they set it up, and it's just, I don't know, I love the stage. I loved how they did the whole
so
cosmic
good.
thing.
Yeah, like in today's world, if you want to have a pretentious, uplifting speech, you get Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they had what's his name, Saget. Was that the original?
What?
What was his, not Saget? From the '80s, he did. It's basically what Neil deGrasse, kind of based his stuff off of after.
Oh, are you talking about? Are you talking about?
What's his name?
You talking about? Hello.
No. I'm not talking about him. There was a scientist back in the '80s that was really big.
I know who you're talking about.
I thought it was like, not Bob Saget, obviously this comedian, but there was something with an S. I don't remember. Somebody.
Shows you how smart we really are.
I know things. I just don't remember most of them.
But I know who you're talking about because I swear the name is an S name.
Right, like it's an S name, but like, Bill Nye based off his, he's named the scientist. Anyway.
So stage won me back. I was like, damn, this is really good. And it was a 7-year wait for this, and just a few months ago, they dropped the single "Nobody."
I love that song.
And when I listened to it, I was like, whoa. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. I was like, this is fucking cool. But then I was like, the fuck is he doing with his voice, man? Because I was like, it sounds like he's taking a shit. I was like, it sounds like he's taking a shit, right? And it took a little bit of getting used to, because I was like, this song sounds awesome. I was like, it fucking sounds cool. I was like, and then it gets a little musy on the chorus and shit. I was like, this is really fucking cool. I'm like, what is the rest of this album gonna sound like? But like I said, I normally have a 1 single limit before an album drops, and because I don't want to spoil
I don't
it.
think
Man.
they dropped a second single.
I don't know if they did or not.
No, I think Nobody was the only one. Then they dropped the album.
So
Which is great.
Yeah,
It's what
don't
you need.
spoil the album, man. Don't, because nowadays people are dropping about 5 singles before the album is released. And
See, Token dropped like 6 of their, like half
yeah,
their
that's
album.
half the fucking album.
They dropped like half the
I
album.
don't want to spoil none of it. If I gotta wait 7 years for an album,
one song.
One song, man, one song.
Get the hype up.
Yeah, get the hype up. Be like, all right, let's see where we're going. All right, and this just blew me away. I was like, this is fucking cool. Now, Avenged Sevenfold gets a lot of hate. I don't know where all the hate comes from, but they get a lot of hate. And my only guess is maybe it's because they got massively huge when they kind of dumbed their sound down. I don't know where the hate comes from. I don't know what the hate's about, but they always kind of get lumped in the whole, like with Nickelback and the hate from Five Finger Death Punch and stuff. I don't understand. I don't understand where the hate comes from. If you guys would like to elaborate, tell us in the comments. I am completely dumb to this hate. I don't understand it. Anyway, I mean, you're allowed to hate stuff, but I don't know why to me they are much better than the hate they deserve that they get.
Right.
I don't understand. They are much better musicians and songwriters than other bands that get hated on the same way.
But the people that like this album they're just, like we're not gonna go online and just be like hate something. The people that are hating it are the ones that like the dumb shit.
I could assume a lot.
Like people who love Metallica are not gonna like prog metal or Avenged Sevenfold's new stuff because it's very proggy. So that's like people who like me and you were talking about earlier. People who like the 4 big bands back from the 80s and 90s. They're not gonna like this shit because it's too all over the place for them. They're like they need really bad structure.
Disco? Why did they put disco on a metal album?
Like, there's nothing.
They wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get it.
They wouldn't get it. So instead of like
You
to
can
themselves,
you can give your average, here in Georgia, you can give your average fucking jacked up truck guy. You can give him a Between the Buried and Me album, and he is gonna fucking hate it. But you can give that man a Metallica album or a Disturbed album, and I like Disturbed okay. So no hate on Disturbed. You can give that man a damn Disturbed album. He thinks that's the heaviest shit he has ever heard in his life.
and the only Rammstein song he knows is Du Hast.
Yeah, Du Hast. Yeah, and his girlfriend probably knows Engel. So where we're at, so with the hate, our buddy Charlie had posted in the Speaker Branch thing saying, "Damn, how is it that they can sound worse?" And I'm like, how does this sound worse? I mean, it is nowhere near as bad as the Hail to the King stuff. I get it if you're going by his vocals, because that was new to me, what he's doing with his vocals on this. I was like,
really?
Yeah, dude. Like I said, it was.
I don't know. I didn't hear it. He sounds like the stuff he did in the stage and their self-title.
And see, that's the thing. It had been a while since I listened to the stage, and I went back and listened to the stage, and I was like, okay. And now that I've gone and listened through them all, I hear his voice evolve to this. But so when the album finally dropped and I listened to it that day, man, I got used to that voice because he's using a slightly lower register than normal, and he's doing a lot of different things with his voice that he normally hasn't done before, which we'll get into when we get into the notes. But so when with me, I know an album is great. That when it is over, I instantly turn it back on. I don't go to something else. I don't wait a day. As soon as the album's over, I'm like, fuck, man.
Need to hear that
Turn this back on. And that's exactly what I did with this album a few times. Like, that's all when it came out, that's all I listened to that weekend. I've probably listened to this thing all the way through 7 or 8 times.
You got me?
Can't fucking get enough of it. And
it's going to be top 5 2023.
But, so, one thing I want to say, though, is, like, I love a band that has nicknames, right? And they stick with these fucking nicknames.
They do. These guys are in their 40s.
Yeah, man. You're like a 40-year-old man and you call yourself Zachy Vengeance.
No, they're about our age now.
Probably so.
I think they were 16 when they came out with their first album, and that was... What, 2001?
2001-ish. So they'd have had to be
roughly our age. They're
Yeah.
like in their early 40s, late 30s, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Gotta be. But it's like, bro, Zachy Vengeance.
Sinister Gates.
Sinister Gates. But what I love is when said band with nicknames has stuck to their guns with these nicknames, but they get new members who decide, nah, man, I'm good. So, like, the Rev, rest in peace, their original drummer, killer fucking drummer, he was originally replaced, apparently on Nightmare, Mike Portnoy plays drums on most of them, and then some of them are drums from the Rev that he had done beforehand, I don't know. And then they got a full-time drummer, and his name is kind of hard to pronounce. Aaron Ilje? He didn't play with them all that long. He's on Hail to the King, I believe. But their new drummer, newest, Brooks Wackerman, motherfucking beast on the drums. And, but yeah, like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna be Brooks, man. I'm just gonna be Brooks Wackerman, dude. Like, this is my name.
And all the other guys are still going by that.
Yeah, Johnny Christ, Zachy Vengeance. That still kills me, Like, even, like, their old bass player on the first album, Justin Sane. That is almost the worst, but I love it. Like, that is...
It's so cheesy.
That is, man, that is cheese to the highest degree. That Justin Sane. That's up there with, like, David Bowie's Aladdin Sane. Alad Insane. Like, it is so cheesy as fuck, but I love it. But, so Brooks Wackerman. It's in his blood. This man's brother is... He's got another brother that plays drums that I don't know, but his other brother is Chad Wackerman, who played with Frank Zappa from, like... God, well, I have it written down here. Where are we at? Brooks Wackerman. Yeah, Chad Wackerman played drums for Zappa from 81 to 88. Killer fucking drummer. One of his best. Up there with like Terry Bozzio and shit. So, another weird little Zappa connection, but this time through blood. And so, those are some notes that I wanted to get onto. And I like that no two album of this band sounds the same. And, yeah, so it looks like I went over my main original talking points before going into the songs. So now you go ahead and you give us some shit, and then we'll go into these songs, man.
The album's great. I got into Avenged Sevenfold back in high school, 2000. Well, you know what? I heard the second album first. So before Waking the Fallen, I heard that one because I was really big in like Killswitch Engage, and a lot of the hardcore metal bands that were back in like the 2005 era, where all those like they just blew up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I got into Waking the Fallen and heard what song was it? Hold on, I have to take it a second because I got pulled up. But the first time I heard them, where's the album? Nope. Oh, there it is. I don't remember off the top of my head which one it was. Chapter 4 was the song I heard first time, and I was like, holy shit, this band's awesome. So I heard Chapter 4. It had like a really good chorus, and they did a lot of things that Avenged Sevenfold tends to throw into their songs, the good ones at least. And so I went back, heard the first album, and was like, all right, cool. Kept listening to them. Saw them live at the Family Values tour back in like 2007.
That's rad.
That was fun. That was a fun concert. I also saw like Five Finger Death Punch before they got shitty. A lot of bands were there. Obviously, Korn and Evanescence were there too. But anyway, so yeah, Avenged Sevenfold was like, I heard. I didn't like City of Evil. Like I just don't care for it. Backcountry, the song was like stupid to me.
Damn.
I did not like it at all. I remember like just trying to go back to it. I was like, yeah, this is just garbage to me. I didn't like any of it. I like their self-title a lot.
That one is damn good.
That one I've listened to a shit.
Except for goddamn. Dear God, what a god-awful fucking song. Dear God. It's too pop country for me. When they can do good Western and country shit, and I've heard them do good Western and country shit, Dear God is just...
The rest of the album's pretty good, though.
Just some Blake Jackson fucking Brad Paisley ass sounding shit. Not a fan.
And then, like you said, Hail to the King, I was like, it's Metallica. It's like, Metallica had more talent. I thought it was more like, and then Nightmare, I like Nightmare because it had a lot of their older style stuff, like their hardcore metal stuff, and it's got some weirdness into it. It's not as crazy. Once the stage, I love that album. That was up until the new one. This is my new favorite. Like the stage is pretty much my favorite up until this one. This one beats that one, but I don't think it beats it. I think it more improves it where they're going, and so like this album was great.
Yeah.
But that's really, my life story. My life story of Avenged Sevenfold.
So before we get into the tracks, I want to smoke a cig. All right, we are back, and now we're gonna go song by song. So the album starts off with Game Over. I love the classical guitar intro. That's a thing I do love about Sinister Gates, because you don't hear this a lot in heavy metal music, rock music. You don't get classical guitars. They are my favorite acoustic guitar. They're very clean. They're very clear. Just crystal as fuck. And you get a lot of it on City Evil. Like, man, that Spanishy song they fucking do, so fucking good. And he's already a killer ass guitarist, but man, when he plays the classical guitar and just rips on it, fucking killer, man. So love the classical guitar intro, and then he goes into this awesome metal shit. And I love the vocal flow. I don't know what he's saying. You know, off the top of my head, like just punky as fuck. The album starts off punching you in the face. Actually, it doesn't start off punching you in the face. It starts off real nice and calm, and then
this is, I think, this out of this whole album, this is the most of what Avenged Sevenfold has done.
Yeah, one of the more of A7X style tracks, and then I love when it goes into the big Broadway musical thing. Like, that's what I was halfway up the road, man, the morning it came out, and I was like, whoa, all right, we're doing this. We're fucking here, man.
They went all in with it.
Yeah, I was like, this is the moment. At first I was like, all right, good metal, good metal shit, and then, oh, okay, all right, let's turn this up. Fucking shit, yeah. And I love the line, you know, now I swing from my family tree. Fucking love it. What do you think about Game Over, man?
I thought it was pretty badass. It's a good way to start the album, I think. Like, it kind of gives you a segue to what you're going to get, because it's like, you start off, like you said, with the soft sound kind of thing, and Avenged Sevenfold's done that for a lot of songs. It kind of like, and I think that's one of my favorite things about Avenged, is that, like, other bands that have been around for 20, 30 years, they don't do that anymore. Like, even like Metallica, Metallica stopped doing it in the 90s. Like, they're just like, yeah, we gave up on the whole, like, medieval kind of sound, you know, with the soft acoustic and everything. Now everything has to be, you know, really bad drums and... yeah, so, like, I mean, that's why Injustice for All from Metallica was my favorite album, because they did all that.
That one kicks so much ass.
Yeah, but anyway, so, like I said, Game Over is what you would expect, I think, more of from...
Yeah, it's like they started off giving you what you expect,
right,
what you want.
And it's heavy,
then
too.
They throw your ass for a loop out of nowhere, and it's like some people are gonna be like, "What the fuck? Give me my Budweiser." But other people like me, oh shit.
Is it gonna be give my Budweiser, or is it gonna be give my Budweiser?
Give my Budweiser.
Now it's all like, you know, they're all fruit. Yeah, you can hear the Bud Light scandal.
Oh,
they're all fruity now.
It's a fucking can. Get over it, people.
No, well, either way,
it's a fucking can.
But yeah, so I think it's a good step to, like, there is not a bad song on this album. Like, there wasn't one I didn't like. So, but this is like a good start off for it. But I don't really have much to say about, like I said, it's what you would expect out of Avenged Sevenfold. Especially if you liked the stage. Like, that one was really good. And I heard this, like you said, I heard Nobody, and I was just like, oh man, if this album is anything like that one song, I'm going to love it. And it was.
That song, dude, that song was like...
I love that.
The perfect single, yeah. The perfect single, because it's like, okay, what is this album going to be like?
Right.
What are we about to be diving into? So then you get Mattel.
I love that song.
Amazing. I love the almost industrial vibe at the beginning, and I love and I know it might sound crazy, but I've smelled the plastic daisy.
Yeah, I love that song. But I found, is he saying we found love? I could never understand that.
I can't remember.
Like, but now we found and I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, okay. This whole song is good.
Then he straight up fucking, I mean, he throws in good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Truman Show, Jim Carrey.
I don't know if that's from that, though, but like, still.
That's the only thing I know where it's like, hey, in case I don't see it, good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, like, whenever I hear those three
The
words,
Truman Show.
phrases together like that, I'm thinking Truman Show.
But yeah, I liked Mattel. I thought you could definitely, from the name, you were like, okay, so this is probably going to be about fake and, you know, someone who's fake or something that's fake.
Plastic, Mattel Toy
yeah.
Company, Barbie.
So, you know, and then lyrically when you started hearing it, you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's exactly, we found love, but I think that's what he says, is we found love.
Plastic daisies.
You know, but he's thinking like more of the
Very topical because the Barbie movie's just come out or is about to come out.
Ew. Like, are you gonna watch it?
I mean, you know, it doesn't look awful. It looks silly.
It looks stupid as shit.
It looks stupid, but
Not one kid should
watch it be like way better than it has any right to be.
Like, why did I have to see this? Like, now I'm stuck. But yeah, I mean, it's a fucking awesome. Mattel is a freaking phenomenal song.
Love the cool, weird, synthy shit. Love the jazzy piano at the end. Fucking awesome. And so, we're on Nobody now. Nobody, like you said,
that long, ground out guitar that's like you feel like it's that same kind of ominousness that you get from like the Jaws soundtrack. Mm-hmm. It's that, like, you know something's coming, like.
There's like a noise that isn't a lot of heavy music right now. It's on that shitty Sleep Token. The newest Zeal and Ardor did it. This boom. There's this noise that motherfuckers are using in heavy metal. I love it. I love it. You get it in the lingua ignota a lot, and fucking I don't know. There's just that fucking bwah noise in metal right now, and I'm loving it. And this kind of emulates that, but does its own little thing with it.
Oh my god, that fucking solo at the last minute,
dude!
Like Sinister is fucking phenomenal, and like that solo, I love that. Like how it leads up into it.
Dude,
like,
yeah, Sinister is a fucking
like
lead guitarist that does not get the kind of love he deserves. Like,
he
the dude's
fucking
wicked.
slays on that fucking song though. Like that he's just fucking just shredding. Like just a fucking shred. I'm just like, damn, I love that solo.
Yeah, so this song's got some musy vibes in the chorus. I love the acapella bit where the I see.
Yeah, I love when people do something like that.
So fucking cool. I love the melody. It's such a odd sounding song. Well, you know what is funny is there was an April Fool's joke where they wrote this album and when they were doing a lot of psychedelic drugs like LSD and mushrooms and stuff, which would explain all of this weirdness.
This is a weird album.
And which I commend. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, bring it back.
All the drugs.
Fuck yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. You know, somebody throw a heroin needle at Nick Cave. Maybe he'll write some better music. You know, it's been ages. You know, you've been clean a long time, man. Just a tiny drop. You know, bring it back, bro. Bring us back to fucking, you know. Anyway. Maybe not heroin. But that's what he used to do. Bring us back to the birthday party, man. Let's fucking do it. Anyway. But yeah, so they did that. But there was an April Fool's joke where they came in and said that AI created this song. And a lot of people fell for it. Oh my god, if they couldn't even be any worse, they had computers make them worse for them. But no, it was an April Fool's joke, and I thought it was a pretty funny little April Fool's joke. Because it's a weird sounding song. It really is. Really is. So now we go to We Love You.
I like this one. Like how he's like, it's like an anthem kind of a little bit. Like he's like, we do this. I can't remember the lyrics, but he's like, we fight, we fight.
Like, look. I love. All right, the cool ass dissonant intro reminds me of like Dillinger Escape Plan. Just noisy dissonance. It also reminds me of like dissonant bits in Imperial Triumphant. And I love the glitchy shit happening on his voice when he's like, he's like, it just sounds like his voice is cracking, but like there's computer glitches in there. So cool. But yeah, the lyrical flow is fun to fuck with because it's like more power. You know, it's like fucking
more. Like it's like a workout song that's not supposed to be a workout song.
When he says more power, I think of fucking Home Improvement. I'm like, more power. And fucking, but it's like it's such a fun flow to fuck with because you can say food,
more
cheese,
more.
Ketchup.
It sounded like a Metalocalypse.
Right?
It was leading into that like. But it's such a good song.
Drive fast on the road.
Right. It is a fun song. It's probably the most. It's probably the most different compared to all the other songs.
Yeah, it is a very other. Like out of an album where like songs are all different. This is a different ass song.
Like it almost doesn't belong, but it does belong.
Light, more peaches.
We love you. I mean, that shit was so good though. Like.
Oh my god! But then I love the revving engine noises that you kind of get that on a few tracks, and then the slow synth bit in the middle, right before the thrashy bit, and I like at the end when it speeds up, and then you get this really fucking cool swampy acoustic guitar at the end of the song with a slide like. Out of nowhere, man. It's like this song starts off with like this weird dissonance shit. Then we get into more power, everybody, you know, whatever the fuck. And then like weird shit. And then it's a song with like some country. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do all the drugs and just be like, yeah, dude, this song needs this, and this. And then we're going to end it with some fucking slide guitar, dude. Like, fucking awesome. Love the shit out of it, man. I wish that I could have been there, you know, during the writing sessions, you know, like fucking just seeing like how they come up with all this
fly
shit.
on the wall.
Yeah, dude. Oh, let me get more wine real quick. I'm gonna flip the CD off the table. I'm gonna get some more wine, and I shall be back. So say something about Cosmic, David.
Cosmic is probably one of the. It's almost an instrumental. It has like very few lyrics. It's got a huge like just guitar section. It's a beautiful song. Like I like it because it kind of goes back to the stage.
Yeah.
They kind of bring that back a little bit, like from that album. And I was like, all right, this is sweet. And even the name Cosmic, I was expecting to hear Necrosi, honestly.
Neil
I was like,
deGrasse
oh,
coming
here
in there
comes
for some more
DeGrasse.
pretentious shit to say.
But no, I mean the Cosmic is like, oh, man, that's such a fucking. It's a show song. It's one of those songs like here, this is what I can do even more. And like I said, this whole album is just like expressing the talent that Avenged Sevenfold has,
and showing talent that you didn't know they had.
I mean,
you know, like it's crazy that this late in a band's career, they are still surprising the shit out of me. Even when they sort of had a little slumpy bit for me, where I was like, all right, this is where we're at with Hail to the King, and I'm like, okay, we're here doing great shit. Cosmic is one of my favorites. It starts off slow. You got some great fucking leads after the verse, and then everything kicks in, and you get these nice Pink Floyd-y lush piano bits, and then the horns, and then the singing starts again, and then it builds to this uncomfortable noise that blends with the great melody. I like this. This is happening a lot too in music, where you got a real nice melody and this annoying noise that's like coming in there to try and say like there's a little bit of insanity just coming on out, just trying to get there, man. Fucking then it just stops out of fucking nowhere. Love the shit out of that. Right when it starts to get like, okay, you're starting to fucking annoy me with this noise, everything stops. And then out of nowhere, it comes back all powerful and grand. The vocals come back, and then the robot vocals come in, and then the song ends on some orchestral shit. Like, God, this is a
journey of a song.
This is the orgasm song. You know, this is where like the song is over.
Climax.
Yeah, this is where the song is over, and it's like, yeah, I've said this before. You're like, shit, man, you gotta pause the shit, light up a fucking cigarette and shit. Like, fuck.
And then go back to it.
God damn, you know.
Round 3.
Fight. So then next we have Beautiful Morning, and that's the one that sounds like Alice in Chains. We talked.
Yeah,
about.
that one, like, it sounds like a lot of, like, comes the rooster song.
Yeah, or
and like,
was it oh my god, them Bones or
yeah, I mean, it sounded a lot like even his vocals, like,
yeah, God,
like it had a lot of like Alice in Chains feel to it. It had the same kind of slowness to it. I mean, it could have been an Alice in Chains song.
And then I like that. All right, you get a few measures of the Alice in Chains bit. Then the tempo speeds up and and I like that how they just kind of do that. And yeah, it starts off sounding like Alice in Chains, and then a cool slower tempo song that speeds up. Then 2.5 minutes in, it gets all soothing with some nice horns and this summery psychedelic shit that hits on stuff like you hear from on the California album from Mr. Bungle. That woo, like Beach Boys kind of shit, dude. Like, what are we doing here? We're fucking doing this, man. Then it runs back into the main part of the song and then ends on some nice piano shit. Little kitty. But yeah, that's one of my favorite one of my favorite things about this album is the random shit that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, the song, not one song.
Wait, who was sitting around talking about, yeah, dude, we got this like song I'm working on, man. It kind of sounds like Alice in Chains. Okay, cool, dude, let's work on it. You know what this song needs? Some Beach Boys shit.
Let's throw in some fucking 1960s, 50s, 40s, whatever.
You know what I'm
Let's throw it in.
saying? Dude, I just bought Pet Sounds the other day, and I'm like, fucking loving it. Let's do like a Beach Boys bit on here. Like, and everybody, and I love how like everybody could be like, okay, yeah, let's fucking do that. You know, this is a goddamn.
I think, so what's cool is, I think, especially about this album in particular, it feels like, what's his name? What's the singer's name?
Shadows.
Yeah, so
another silly name.
Shadows, I think, is the lead when it comes to this album. Like, when I say lead, like, not like his vocals are best, but I think, like, if you listen to how his vocals stream everything, it's just, like, it flows into everything with his vocals. Like, you're going to hear this part, and then his vocals do a thing, and it kind of goes into this weird part. And, like, a lot of songs do that on this album.
What I like is what you're hitting on. What I like is the fact that nobody on this entire album outshines anybody. Every single member of the band has a moment in every song.
Oh, yeah.
Not just a song for this guy, not just a song
You hear
for
some
that
good
guy.
bass on there, the drummer
Yeah,
is like just
every
going
motherfucker
nuts.
on every fucking song gets to shine, and you don't get that a whole lot from a lot of other bands. Shadows gets to kick ass on the song. Fucking Wackerman gets to kick ass on the song. Fucking Johnny Christ and fucking Sinister Gaze. Everybody gets a say on these songs, and it kicks ass. It works.
Yeah.
Fucking I don't know, man. It is amazing. Next is Easier. LOL, the Daft Punk vocals at the beginning. Then comes into then it comes in heavy, and then gets into this great arena rock and roll solo bit. And I like the laser sounds, bing, 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 more Daft Punky-ish. There's some when I heard some Daft Punk shit on this album, I was like, all right, we've already done Beach Boys.
Why not?
We've already done
do
Broadway. Then I hear this Daft Punk shit, I'm like, this is some random access memories Daft Punk shit. I was like, we're fucking here, man. We are all in this. Like, the moment the album starts off like your typical A7X shit that goes into Broadway, almost Queenish, if you will. I'm like, alright, we're going fucking crazy. But every song is throwing my ass for a loop.
Right, it has something new.
Yeah.
Like, none of it sounds like this is what's cool is about this album is that it flows very well, even though the songs don't meet anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
none of them really kind of like. There's no theme to the album. Like the stage had a theme, right? You can kind of tell like
Heavy concept album.
had a heavy concept to it. This one is like, let's just do some badass songs. We'll make some of them sound somewhat like they should be on here, and the rest of them we're just gonna do whatever sounds inventive. Drugs are what takes control, and they just let that shit go. I mean, it was like we can
Love it. It's been a long time since I've done any kind of drugs and recorded any music. Now here we wrote our album. Me and Zach wrote our album Cheddar Pond. Smoking weed a lot. I've never really done any heavy. I've done DMT a few times. I've done acid a few times. I smoked opium once, and that was amazing. and
I did shrooms once. That was fun.
Huh?
I did shrooms once. That was fun.
I did shrooms once, and I remember walking around the table for a long time. And
You waste a lot of time on shrooms. I'm like, I stared at a comic book strip like this dude. This house, it was when I met Brandon Neal.
Yeah,
right?
Brandon
Like
Neal,
me and Brandon
man.
used to hang out, and we went to this dude's fucking apartment in Alabama somewhere, and it was his apartment, and he had like 2 or 3 other guys who were just crashing there, and they're like, "Hey man, so you want some Shroomade?" So I was like, "Fuck it." See, they had they had one of those doors with a small slit window.
Yeah.
So they had a comic strip blocking it, right? I remember staring at that fucking comic strip for like an hour.
Amazing.
Like I just stared. It was
You
moving.
just appreciate every time.
I was just like everything. Like you saw it move. I mean, I was fucked up.
You
like,
see the vibrations in the earth,
right.
man.
This dude had his own paintings on the wall. His name now I don't remember his real name, but they called him Snow. He was a goth dude. How you make fun of like goths. That's him. Like he was straight up. Like,
straight
had
up.
the fucking
Oh,
black
God.
fingers painted. His girlfriend was a stripper in Atlanta. I don't remember her at all, but she was a stripper. She was hot. She was a stripper in Atlanta. She was a goth chick as well. And oh man, I never like people say when you're inebriated you don't remember. Man, I remember every inch of that.
That's another thing. Yeah, I remember everything.
I remember every moment of that night. Even then, Snow and his girlfriend had a fight in the middle of it. I'm like, you're breaking my buzz, bro. I mean, I was tripping balls and he's crying. Like he's like, she's gonna leave me forever. And I mean, I remember. I'm hoping he's still alive.
I was hardcore. I still claim the goth flag. I just do it differently. But I was hardcore mall goth, man. Hardcore mall goth.
Yeah.
The goth that I like to make fun of.
Hot Topic.
Like Hot Topic goth all the way, man. All in it. Black fingernail polish, all that shit. And I'll never forget the moment I stopped doing the black fingernails. I was out of black fingernail polish. So I used Zach's. And then Zach's gonna come in there and be like, "Hey, did you use my nail polish?" And it hit me, man. I was like, the moment you and your brother are fighting over nail polish, it's time
Maybe I
to
should
stop.
move on from this. It's becoming a little gay. A little homosexual god. That like,
But easier is cool. Like easier kind of maybe based on my notes here. I'd have to have a refresher. But based on my notes, it might be one of the least memorable.
I think that I was gonna say it is. Now, this is a phenomenal album, but it is the weakest song. I think like memory-wise, like yeah, it's one kind of tone. Like it doesn't really go everywhere like all the other songs. It's fun, but it is probably the most forgettable song.
Yeah.
Like the only thing you remember from it is the Daft Punk style kind of thing to it. But the actual theme behind it and stuff, you're like, all right, cool. And like I said, this is the least memorable, weakest song they have on here, but it's still a good song. Like
So
that same week from like an album.
Yeah,
that's
like it's already a badass song, but out of a group of badass songs, it might not be as badass as the others. So now we go into the God Suite.
I love this.
Man, the God Suite it's like with Exist on the stage. Their big 15-minute track, their big proggy track, but it breaks it into 3 different tracks. So you have G, you have Ordinary, and you have Death. And on G is just G, but then the O on Ordinary is in parenthesis, and the D on Death is in parenthesis. The God Suite, or if you will, the God Trilogy. But fucking G, man.
Straight up.
Fucking jeez. That intro is, like you said, Haken.
It sounded like Haken, like straight up like a Haken song. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Haken, Dream Theater, and Frank Zappa. I get a lot more Frank Zappa from the entirety of G. Like, especially Frank Zappa stuff from the Overnight Sensation or Apostrophe albums. It reminds me a lot of hey there, brother, who you driving with that cosmic debris? It reminds me of that kind of shit. When it's heavily reminds me of that style Zappa. It is so fucking good. But yeah, the with the Dream Theater and the Haken bits on that intro, but also, like I said, it just reminds me so heavily of Frank Zappa, and I'm gonna play y'all a bit of the chorus, just because like there are things where I'll be listening to it and I'll be like, this is what Zappa would do on this part. So like, listen to this.
That's all Haken right there.
Zappa. We're gonna get to a chorus. So check out the chorus, right?
It's like straight up disco.
Yeah. This is what Zappa would do. Hold up. Hold up. But
yeah, I love that shit. He sounds like a dude walking down the street with some fucking sunglasses, just like all badass. He's just like looking at bitches, and he's like,
But yeah,
Such a good
so
song.
like, but yeah, when it gets to the one bit. Oh, I already did that. Yeah, fucking heavy on the Zappa, man. Heavy on the Zappa. I don't know, man. Reminds me of goddamn, man, I Am the Slime from Frank Zappa. Fucking, I am the slime on you. I am the slime. You-ba-da-doom-ba-doom-doo. I don't know, man. It just reminded me so much of Zappa. And the fact that their drummer is a Zappa drummer brother. It's in his blood, man. It's in his blood.
blood.
Tis blood it is. Oh man, but yeah, phenomenal, man.
Yeah, that whole like said, and then Ordinary goes into.
We're not done.
We're not done.
on here
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Yeah, like I said, okay. The chorus has the funky bits, you know, like well, I pretty much said all that. Yeah, even the way he kind of like deep talks, like that's a very Zappa vibe.
I gotta take your word for it. I don't listen to Zappas.
God, you're missing out, man. But yeah, so we're going on Ordinary now. Man, how about Ordinary wins the award for biggest Daft Punk ripoff ever. I kept waiting for Pharrell Williams to come in and start singing some shit.
You're so good though.
It is. I love it. I love the shit out of it because like it comes out of nowhere. You're not expecting. You get the Daft Punk vocals on a few tracks, but then a full-on fucking song hitting the random access memory. Sounds like Get Lucky. Sounds like Give Life Back to Music. Like, damn. Like, is Nile Rodgers playing on this motherfucker? Like, where are we really fucking going here? What the fuck? But so the synth solo is great. Starting to oh yeah, on the synth solo toward the end straight starts to sound like old school fucking Yes, old prog kind of shit.
Yeah.
Fucking hits on some Rick Wakeman vibes. Like, all right, motherfucker. And then there's a cool rev up which is the revving up engine vibe on this song at the end is very similar to has another Daft Punk vibe to it, but then it runs into Death. What do you got to say about Ordinary?
I think like Ordinary, like what you just said, like very big Daft Punk. It's kind of like so the trio or whatever, how each one kind of ends up into the next song.
Mm-hmm. The segue,
like the segue to it, you don't expect it because there's not like a Daft Punk segue on G.
Yeah.
It just like kind of goes
to it.
And then the same thing goes once you hear Ordinary, and then to Death, you get like this kind of, I don't know, like disco-y party kind of sound to it, and then you get towards the end and you get to Death and it just kind of drops off.
Yeah, it just
and
turns
goes
into this
like
beautiful piano.
So I mean, there's not much to say. Ordinary and Easy are kind of like those two songs. Like, it's still a great album, but like it's like okay, I'll remember it if I listen to it with G and Death.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember Death and G a lot more. Now,
Yeah.
G hits a hard point because, you know, Haken's one of my favorite bands. So I know, like, that's
gonna draw your ass in.
That perfect intro was like, this is exactly how Haken does a lot of their songs. You know, and I think that's cool because it's kind of like, they're kind of giving an homage to New Age prog and then still doing some old stuff too.
It's like they're throwing in New Age prog. But then they're also doing their own thing.
Because that's what Haken is. It's pretty much New Age. It's like prog metal.
Haken just sounds a lot of Dream Theater, but then with the new modern metal.
Right.
You know, you're not going to get the metal that Haken does in a new Dream Theater album.
They do jet prog.
Yeah, basically. And it gets fucking old. It gets fucking old, sadly. I mean, I'm like, anytime, I love Haken, but the past couple hours have been like, but every time, dun 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 dun, I'm like, we're fucking doing this again.
The new one is a lot better.
Way better.
Way better. Like, the new one was great.
Way better than the last two. But after that new one come out, I went and listened to Aquarius or whatever the fuck,
Yeah,
and then The Mountain.
Man, I love The Mountain. Like, you can't never gonna.
Visions,
That's a fucking
fuck, dude.
masterpiece.
Those first three albums, motherfucking perfect. Oh, not the first three, first four, because Affinity, fucking phenomenal. I don't know what happened to the band. They just got so heavy on the gent with.
Well, the
Virus and
keyboard is
Baker.
left for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think those last two albums, the keyboard is because he's on the new album.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on Virus or what's it? Vector. Like, he wasn't on those. He was there. I think he was there for Affinity, but he might have not. Or he might have no. He was there for The Mountain and Aquarius.
The Mountain's still like top fucking tier.
Right.
With
like,
Aquarius right below, because Aquarius gets so fucking cheesy. It gets fucking cheesy, but it is like fun cheesy. It's like you guys are hitting on some of that goofy ass early 70s prog with some of this shit. Like, the fishes of the sea. Like, you guys are like hitting on some real silly ass early prog.
So, back to. So, yeah, so Ordinary is like good, but like Death, like, I don't really have much to say about Ordinary because you pretty much said what it needs to be said.
It's just a good Daft Punk riff-off. It's funky. Well, I wouldn't say a Daft Punk rip-off because it ain't like everything Daft Punk does, but it sounds like Random Access Memories. It sounds like, but it also has there's a great disco vibe. There's great, just funky vibe. It's like a cool, smooth,
electronic,
you know, and the fucking sweet-ass bass. Sounds if you've heard Random Access Memories as a whole, you've heard Ordinary. Because, like, everything is in there. Speaking of which, they just re-released it with, like, a second disc of, like, unreleased shit from the sessions that I need to go ahead and buy. Because that's a good-ass motherfucking album. Woo! So Death. It goes into Death, man. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. A beautiful lounge jazz track where Shadows is just crooning all over it. Very,
this is where he shined, I think.
yeah,
Like,
very Dean Martin, very Sinatra. I keep expecting, like, you remember on Looney Tune cartoons? Like, fucking Frank Sinatra chicken comes in there, and all
I thought it was a frog.
all the chickens be like, oh. You you're thinking of "Hello, my honey,"
Yeah.
"Hello, my baby," "Hello, my ragtime
that.
gal." Those were always great little cartoons too. But no, I don't know. He would be like too skinny. He'd be like as skinny as the microphone.
Oh yeah.
You know, and fucking all the chickens would be like, "Oh no, Frankie." Like that's what the vibes I get from this song. Like, "Oh, them shadows."
It's good.
Frankie's a better word to say.
Oh, yeah.
Them shadows. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
But then it gets to really cool, dark ass orchestral shit. Like you think this is gonna be a smooth lounge jazz track.
Out of nowhere, they do it.
Ooh, fucking horns and mother. It just gets dark, man. It's like, hey, did somebody give Danny Elfman a call? Like, what we got going on over here? It's like, damn.
It was a phenomenal song. Like those three together though. Like even with Ordinary, like they just fit really well. And
Yeah.
I like when bands do that. Like even when Haken did it on Virus with their 7-song fucking. Like,
Yeah.
And I like it when people do that. Like it sucks. Like this is what works about this though is that each of these songs have their own difference, so you can go to them still, but they still kind of intertwine.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the Haken one, which is kind of like
It's one song. It's the Haken one is one song, but they broke it into like several tracks. Right. Whereas like you can just choose your favorite part of the song to listen to, which annoys me because it's like you know,
some parts are like 2 minutes and the other parts a minute.
Yeah, I was like, how about just make it one fucking song like in the old days, and just keep it together. Whereas these are 3 separate songs.
Right.
You know, so it's like you can listen to them in a sequence as it's supposed to be, as the trilogy, but with them being very drastic movements of the piece, you can have them broken up and pick and choose if you want. Right. You can choose your Daft Punk bit. You can choose your Death bit if you want, and it doesn't hurt the overall experience. I can be like, oh, I want to hear the Daft Punk song. You know what I mean? And it doesn't hurt the overall experience. The songs work together as a whole, and they work fantastic separate.
Right.
Whereas the way Haken did it on Virus, was it Virus or was it?
It was Virus.
On Virus is
the yellow, the
mustard, the yellow one, the mustard. Ketchup and mustard.
So bad.
So that one, that's one song. That is meant to be one piece. But they broke it up. So if you were to hear one bit, you're not getting anything except for that one bit. None of them work together as a separate track to cherry pick.
Right.
They must be heard together. So that's why it annoys me that they decided to do that. And you know, a lot of prog bands have done that and haven't done it. I get it, but just keep it as one piece, man. Just
I
keep
did
it
something similar.
Especially when it segues so heavy, where you can tell this, where let's say you listen to them all in sequence, you can't tell that the track is switched.
Right.
So why are they broke into different tracks? If I can't tell when I listen in a sequence that the track has switched, why did you break them up? That just tells me you recorded one song in a 20-minute take or 10-minute take, and then you fucking, I don't know, it just annoys me. Just annoys me. And then too, it's like, where do you decide? Where do you decide to hit that little snip button? I don't know that one good. Undo. I'll move it right over here.
Anyway.
Yeah. So then we get to the final piece of the
This
track.
is a good way to end it.
Yeah, Life is But a Dream. A great soft piano, just classical music. music, man. We end the album on classical music. It sounds like you're having dinner with Hannibal Lecter. You know, and it's just.
I like when people kind of do like an outro.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. A nice outro to the album.
All the shit you just listened to.
Yeah, like, it's like, what an album, dude. What an album.
And then it goes, and then you have a repeat, so it goes right back into the fucking game over,
this
man.
Album
game over, man!
It's shaking you. This album is slapping you. It's screaming in your face.
Well, what's funny is they ended "Life Is But a Dream," right? As if the entire album was just a dream.
It's like, dude,
you're waking up
back in dreamland.
You're waking up now.
Like it was a nightmare. This is the true nightmare. and now you're waking up, man.
You posted on the stage from the nightmare. Now you're in the fucking. Stupid.
Oh man, but yeah, what a great way to end the album, because you had all of this, man. It's just punch after punch after punch, left turn after left turn after left turn. It's throwing you. This whole album is just a loop, throwing you everywhere.
Album.
Beautiful, lots of cool ass ideas, lots of interesting shit going on, and everyone is kicking ass in their role. I just could imagine the sessions, man. Hey, we're gonna do this 3-part song. Let's do one that's like Zappa. Okay, cool. What's the other part gonna be? I don't know, man. I was just listening to Random Access Memories. Fuck it, man. Yeah, let's do that. Fucking shit, dude. I was just listening to my damn fucking. I was just listening to Houston from Dean Martin, man. Let's fuck with that. It's fucking crazy, man.
Right.
But final thoughts, man. For me, this is an incredible album. The experimentation, the crazier elements, especially for a band who has gotten a little crazy before, like we mentioned with Little Piece of Heaven on that. You know, they can do some wild, crazy stuff, like Exist, like hell, the whole of the stage, like they can do some crazy stuff, but they've never fully dove in. Like everything would be pretty straightforward. I mean, they've taken left turns before, like the Spanishy numbers on City of Evil and stuff, and then they wanted to just do a metal album, so they gave us, Metallica 2 on Hail to the King.
I don't remember what Nightmare sounds like, so you might.
Yeah, I gotta listen to Nightmare. I still gotta listen to Nightmare. So for a band who's never fully just committed to let's just fuck around, and they fuck around, and they get it, man. They fucking do it. It is just wild. The stage brought a little bit of this crazy stuff, but this one definitely brought the thunder. Now, I'm not going to lie, his voice at first takes a little bit of getting used to. Like I said, he's doing different stuff with his voice. He's using his voice like an instrument of its own in certain songs, as opposed to just being a singer, which I think is pretty interesting. I think it's pretty cool.
It is an instrument, though. Like, there are singers who, you can stick to standard, Jonathan Davis, but, when a singer uses his vocals to be a portion of the song, not just like you get it, he's the singer, but when you become an instrument, that's something, and I think that's one of the things like I loved so much about like lately the bands or the groups or singers, album people that stand out, they're doing something different either with vocals or music, and I think that's what I've been at. Like even with prog music is getting kind of like dry out there now. But when Avenged Sevenfold has been around for 20 years, comes out and does something like this is kind of like, it's refreshing.
It kind of raises the bar for shit, man.
It really does. Like, fuck them radio fucking gent people out asking Alexandria now and Five Finger Death Poop and like all the other
this is just
fun,
shit. Man. This is a fun ass.
It's so
album.
good. It's good to go into, and like you're just like you're so much for your ears to pick up on.
Yeah.
You can 3, 4, 5 times, and you're finally you might pick up everything. But
it is the album that it is best to go in blind, man. Like I said, the only song I heard was Nobody.
Yeah, same here.
Didn't know what the album was gonna sound like, so every little piece was like, the fuck are you doing?
In a good way.
Yeah, like in a good way, but like what the fuck are you doing? Damn, you fucking killed it, alright. Then what are you fucking doing now? Alright, you fucking did that pretty cool too. What's happening next, man? It's like, you gotta be along for the ride. And I get it. I get it. Not a lot of people are gonna be into this. Let's face it. A lot of people, even the stage did not get nowhere near as crazy as this.
It got, I mean, there was a few songs in there, like, it did really well, that it was enough to where, okay, they didn't die fully, they still had, like, some of their older styles.
Yeah.
But they did a lot. Like, there's half
a
the
lot
album
going on,
is, like...
But it's like, it's more reserved. It's not like, here, we're going to throw you a fucking disco song. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that last song, though, the 15-minute fucking...
the
epic,
Exist, like, great fucking, just a great epic fucking metal track.
Right.
Just great. Like, it's, the stage, prog metal all the way. Alright, we'll call that prog metal all the way. Life's But a Dream, we're just going to call it prog, man.
Yeah,
We're just going to fucking call it prog. Because, like, there's prog metal in it. But then there's funk, and then there's, like, Broadway, and then there's, like, Western, and then, it's like, it's just prog, man. Yeah, it's just fucking prog, man. It's like, we're gonna go all out.
And they show their talent. Man, they show it.
They show their talents in different motherfucking ways. It's like, you already know their talents because of the earlier albums. So they show you talents you didn't know they had. You didn't know they could play funky bass. You didn't know that he could, like, make his voice sound cool with glitchy, weird shit.
It's a fun album, though. Like, they had so much fun with it.
Fun out of the way. You could feel the fun that they had. Definitely his voice does take some getting used to, like I said, especially because, like I said, it was different. He's using a little slightly lower register, but he's doing cool things with it. He's doing interesting things with his voice. I've heard some reviewers say that his vocals are shot. He's creaking, he's cracking, he's horrible at the singing, he's hitting notes that he can't hit. Now I'm thinking maybe he's doing this on purpose. Maybe there's the glitchy bits on the one song on purpose. Maybe he's doing it on purpose. And yeah, so it gets, to me, I got used to it pretty quick. Maybe it'll take you too long. Like I said, the first time I heard Nobody, I thought he was taking a shit. That's what it started sounding like to me. So then, I got used to it. The instrumentation is fantastic, man. The instrumentation goes all over the place. It's just, let's show off for 45 minutes. Let's just do cool shit for 45 minutes. This is one of them albums, man, another Frank Zappa reference, no commercial potential. You know what I mean? Fucking,
Nobody's on the radio.
Yeah,
there ain't
like,
no other song though.
That's the thing, dude. Like, no commercial potential. But if you're a motherfucker, this shit's for you, man. It is my favorite album from them right now. Like we've said before, Stage was a favorite. City Evil is a favorite. Even Sound of the Seventh Trumpet, Wake the Fallen. Those are favorites. I like them all. But right now, man, this is my favorite, and it's because it's not doing one or three things that I like.
It's doing all.
Yeah, this album is doing like 50 things that I fucking like. And there are just so many what the fuck is this moments. So many.
It's groovy too. Like there's some, like what the drummer does, Wackerman, or what's his fucking name?
Wackerman.
Wackerman. Like the shit he does, like it's just like it grooves so well. Like
he is a great. The Rev was the shit. Yeah. All right, the Rev was a fucking kick-ass drummer. They found the right fucking replacement. Like they found the right guy. He'll never be the Rev, but he's bringing the thunder like the Rev. Fucking, and so like there are so many what the fuck moments on here. Now, when I mean what the fuck moments, I mean like those are those left field, out of nowhere, what the fuck is going on kind of shit. Like shit.
Like Korn used to do.
You would never expect this. Like throwing in a different genre in the middle of a main genre song. Like it's throwing in Broadway in your metal song. I love that kind of shit. It's like fucking just surprise me, man. Just surprise me.
Dog fashion. Good
Like
stuff.
Dog Fashion Disco, Mr. Bungle. There were a lot of stuff Mike Patton fucks with. 12-Foot Ninja.
Yeah, 12-Foot Ninja,
I
definitely.
love what the fuck moments. Like, just throw me that shit. You know, I don't get what the fuck moments from other artists I love, but I love certain artists because they are a what the fuck. Like, take Primus, for instance. Primus is a what the fuck. But I love the shit out of that.
There's
you know?
a different type of what the
Yeah,
fuck.
it's a different type of what the fuck. But I like moments where the song might seem like an average, ordinary thing, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, what the fuck is this? Alright. You know, there are a lot, and there's a whole lot of it on this album. Every song has a what the fuck is this moment. And it just keeps you on your
It
toes,
really
man.
does. It's such good. I don't get bored at all with it. 45 minutes is just straight, like, just, you want something to listen to because it's entertaining. And that's what it is. It's an entertaining album. I wasn't bored one bit.
Yes. Not a
Not
single
bored.
moment. Not a single moment. My attention is there because I'm listening. I'm like, what else am I going to hear? What else am I going to hear? It's unpredictable. It's an unpredictable album. Hail to the King, predictable as fuck. You know where the solos are going to come. You know where the bridge is going to be. You know when it's going to come back with the chorus. You know when it's going to end. This, you don't know when a thing's going to end. The song might be 4 minutes. You might be at 3 minutes and 58 seconds and still be like, I think the song is still going on. Oh no, okay, I think it's over. I think it's over.
It might be, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, drop.
Yeah, fucking Daft Punk. Fucking like, god damn, when about I to get lucky?
It's so good. Did you put a rating?
Yes, I got it. Yeah, so there's so many what the fuck moments that make me smile, especially from a band who doesn't get this crazy on one album. Every album might have a few songs that get wild and crazy, but this is a whole album of wild and crazy. And it's a 10. It's my favorite album from this band as of right now. There was a slight interview where he mentioned, you know, the clickbait titles say that it's like we might not make another album. Well, it's like the thing is like this is the now. Basically, what he's saying is, this is the now. We're gonna focus on this album, and we're gonna tour this album. If we make another one, we make another one. Could be a couple years. Could be never.
7.
Yeah. And I'm good with this. Let's say they never make another album again. High note. Total fucking high note. Went out with a motherfucking bang.
It's a phenomenal album. Well, you said it all. I don't have much else to add to that. Yeah, I wasn't bored at all with the albums. I think some like, you know, our taste changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still like a lot of the bands you did, but you're not as hot topic as you used to be. So those bands are kind of like nostalgia rather than like you like them.
Still follow them. This is what I tell people. Like, there's artists that I like. I can't talk shit about Five Finger Death Punch because I don't listen to Five Finger Death Punch. I just know it's not for me, right?
Right.
I can't say, oh, this is garbage, because I don't listen to it. I don't know what it sounds like. I just know that the songs I've heard, I'm not a fan of that shit. So, this is what I tell people.
You've heard their albums then.
I say, that shit is harmless. Because there are artists I fucking absolutely love that have dropped some straight dog shit. But I will still follow them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, there's like Korn. They peaked a long time ago, but I will still give them my money. I'll still check it out.
Every year, because I won't give Jonathan Davis my money though. His solo album was terrible. I listened to like 3 or 4 songs on there, and I'm like, I bet the rest of this sucks. I'm not gonna do it. So I tried, and it really does suck. Like, I don't know what people. There are always the fanboys, like everyone who's gonna be like, oh, they can't do anything wrong. And the thing is like,
Hey, if you think they can do no wrong, that's totally cool.
good on you. Yeah,
I'm glad that you love mediocre.
I love Korn, but
Exactly. I love Korn, even though I haven't loved the shit from the past 20 years.
I love the Nothing. That's an awesome album. it had its moments of but most of the album.
I love it more than most of the shit the past 20 years. But I don't love it as much as the first 4.
To not say anything, I'm also a big fan of their dubstep album. So
Yeah.
But I hated the See You on the Other Side album. I hated that album so bad. Twisted Transistor can go fuck.
It's like there's shit. There's stuff about See You on the Other Side that's like, damn, this could be really good if it wasn't Korn.
It's so bad. But anyway, so like there are a lot of things that like your ears pick up now that they didn't like when we were teenagers and stuff. And I think
I wouldn't have understood this when I was like 15.
Right,
years
yeah.
old.
I was not into prog at all until like what 6 years ago. Well,
I didn't know what it was, man. I thought Pink Floyd was the weirdest, trippy shit at the time. Until I realized, you know what, Pink Floyd is like a gateway into the prog world.
I never even listened to prog though until Haken.
Damn.
Like I mean, I've listened like I've heard Rush, but I mean I never knew it as prog. It was classic metal or classic rock or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then like there's been bands that I've never noticed that I kind of like I've always known about Dream Theater, but I never listened to them until a few years ago. Like never. Like the only reason why I knew about it.
They still aren't even all that great.
And the only reason why I knew about it is because there was a dude I was in band with who played bass, and he was badass. I mean, he was fucking sick, right? He was badass at the bass. But he said his favorite band was Dream Theater, and that's the first time I even heard like who they were, and that was in 2004, and they've been out long before that. So like I never fell into that ship of prog rock, prog metal, whatever. I wish I did though, because man, following like Strapping Young Lad, like fucking what's his Devin Townsend's shit, and like he was like prog before prog was, or like prog metal, and then like Dream Theater, Meshuggah kind of.
So you say Dream Theater was like the first, or one of the first prog metal bands. Them and Fates Warning.
And Opeth.
Opeth
has been around for a long time.
I don't know when they started, but I think probably the earliest that I could think of is Dream Theater and Fates Warning. And even that early stuff was not. Even Queensryche is another one that was like early.
I had a Queensryche album.
Metal.
I thought the symbol was really cool.
Yeah, that was a cool logo.
So I always thought the logo was really cool. So I bought a Queensryche album. This is like.
I have a
when
handful
FYE was
of
still.
them.
I bought it from FYE.
I have a handful of their albums, and they don't impress me all that much either. It's like I don't know. Early prog metal is kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. Like several of to me, I don't think Dream Theater got great until Metropolis, the album Metropolis 2 or whatever the fuck. And after that, it's kind of like hit or miss. They'll release a really good album, then they'll release a really lame album. I don't know.
So yeah, Opeth's been around since '94.
94. So yeah, I think Dream Theater, Queensryche, and Fates Warning still got them beat. And even like Tool is real proggy, but I wouldn't call them prog until around Lateralis. Maybe a little bit of Anima. They were just like weird metal. For like
they were like
Undertow
a mix between like grunge,
yeah,
and, like right. They were kind of the in between, like grunge, new metal, prog.
Yeah,
like,
who knows what it fucking was.
They did a lot of weird stuff.
It's so good, but
back then people were like, "What the fuck is this?" Back then it was like this Avenged Sevenfold. Like Tool was like that. Like it was new for that time.
Yeah, it was new and different, and but that was also at a time when nobody knew what to call nothing. Like Korn had first dropped their new album, nothing in the world sounded like that. Nothing in the world sounded like Tool. It was a time where people that were getting a lot of attention were like doing a lot of different shit. And this was before little copycats were coming in, but yeah, I couldn't call Tool full on prog until around Lateralis. But maybe a little bit on Anima. But Undertow and Opium, like, proggy moments, but still pretty metal, but like different. Like, this is some weird, different shit. Like, prog metal is so hit or miss for me most of the time. Really, all prog kind of is. Because it's like, some of it can be really awesome, and some of it can just be like... I think people nowadays are just hitting too much on that gent shit, and I just get so annoyed with it.
Right.
Which is cool, like it's cool, right? I'm down with it.
An 8-string guitar. Let's put that on there.
Right.
Oh. You got what they call the brown note. You get that top. The Meshuggah note.
Why is Meshuggah making me shit my pants every time I listen to him?
Meshuggah is the gent gods. Like
they're the originators, man.
They're the originators of the gent.
I remember when Metallica's Saint Anger came out. Our buddy Kyle straight up would swear Saint Anger sounds like Metallica trying to be Meshuggah.
I don't know. I tried to forget that album. Saint Anger's terrible. He's so
my
bad.
lifestyle determines my destiny.
I think, like, really, to me, nah, I'm not going to get into that rant. I'm not a Metallica fan. Everyone, if you don't know,
I'm a casual fan.
Casual, like, I like 1 or 2 songs from the latest stuff. I think Death Magnetic was okay in certain songs. The last album had decent songs, but they were overplayed. And
Death Magnetic is just apology.
I will say it now, if you like Metallica's new album, man, you're just a fucking fanboy, and I don't give a fuck about you. That fucking album.
I still hadn't heard it.
It sucks.
2 songs in, and I was like, I need to hear something else.
It sucked. But anyway, that's my opinion. You can tell me, man.
So what do you rate?
I rate this shit. So, you said a 10?
I'm going fucking 10, dude. Like I said, I know it's a good album when I want to hear it immediately after it's done.
I think, yeah, I wouldn't.
And I'm going to be listening to this a lot this year.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you know what? I think it's a 10 because you can go back to any song. Like, you can literally not, like, there's not a, like, you want to go back and listen to it because you want to hear everything.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on, so it's kind of like you're going to miss something the first two, 3 listens.
You might notice something later on. It's so unpredictable. Or you might forget something and then hear it again and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this part. This part was cool as shit. It's
definitely one of those albums, like, I think this is definitely going to be up there at the end of the, for the...
It's going to be high on the list.
High on the list. It's a phenomenal album. And so far I've been disappointed with a lot of albums this year. Like, there's been some surprising ones, like I found a few that was like, what the fuck, this is awesome. Like, I showed you the .bhp, like, new metal band.
Yeah, sadly that came out last year.
I thought it came out the beginning of this year. It was January.
That album came out last year.
Did it?
Yeah. It even has
it was the beginning of last year, wasn't it? Like,
or late last year. Where's that at?
You bought it, right?
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Copyrights 2002 or 22.
They didn't release it though till January.
No.
That was probably written though, but
2022.
I thought it came out.
2022.
2022. But yeah, anyway, so like bands like that, they dropped a whole fucking new metal album. Like, that shit was so good.
That is good, man. That is a good ass fucking album. Look, for as far as like new albums, man, this year,
disappointing.
The new Twilight Force is fine. I like it. Okay. The new Sightless Pit is great. But I like the last one better because of Lingua Ignota singing on it. The new Avatar, dog shit.
It's not that good.
Not a fan. 2 albums ago, I thought this band was about to be something special. Then The Hunter came out. Or what, a Hunter Gatherer? Was that what it was called? You and I reviewed it several years ago.
That one, the one with the eagle and like the whole...
No, that's the one where I was like, I thought they were about to be something special. That was...
I thought The King came out, or...
Oh yeah, and The King also. That was another one. I thought they were about to be a special fucking
That was a fun album. That was a very concept.
Goddamn Avatar Country.
Oh, yeah. So the one
Hunter Gatherer.
that had Colossal, with Corey Taylor doing the screams, Colossal, Collide, or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's funny is so if you listen to I watched an interview with the singer, and he was talking about how he thinks that we got to keep metal and rock alive. I'm like, dude, you're just making all the norm like everyone else now. It's a bland album.
Yeah.
I don't go back to it at all. Like, I like the beach one. What's the song? Something in the Beaches or
On.
Huh?
The Avatar album.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I listened to it, dude. It was a one and done.
Yeah, it wasn't like thrilling to go back into.
I remember enjoying the Lizzie Hale duet.
Yeah, I was.
That's the only thing I remember, but I don't even remember the song. I just remember
Baby
that
Metal
she's on
did
there.
it. They disappointed this year.
Dude, yeah. What?
It's just it's a good metal
Gorillaz,
album, but not a good
new
Baby
Gorillaz
Metal.
album. Fucking sucks.
The new Haken album was good.
New Dope album was good.
That was good.
That
yeah.
was good.
There's not a lot though. Like so far in the 6
Violent
months.
J's new solo album.
Crap.
It's
It's
whatever.
not Jay.
Living Dead Girl dropped a covers EP that's really good. She covers Pink's I'm Coming Out, or We'll Get the Party Started, or whatever. I'm coming out, so
Okay,
you better
yeah.
get
I know
this.
what you're talking
She does like metal covers of that. She does a metal cover of Oops, I Did It Again. Really good EP. That's fine. Hake's new album is good. Orbital's new album is fantastic. UK Grimm. I don't know if I'm going to put them on the list because I don't know much about them, but that is, I will say this, that is the most British shit I've heard in a long, in ever. Zulu. Definitely check out some Zulu. Like some metal shit, but then they like throw in some Africa stuff. Really good. Yeah, Baby Metal. What a disappointment in Baby Metal, dude.
It was not a Baby Metal
Dude.
album. It was just a Japanese metal album.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, dude. Cause like the last 2 albums threw in so many different
I love
genres.
the last album. I loved so much because they did a mix of everything.
Yes.
Like they're like they had different people come in, did part of it. Like I mean that was great. But then like
Metal Resistance, Metal Galaxy, even their first album is fun. It's a little harder to listen to because it's real bubblegummy.
it's all
But
over the place though.
Metal Resistance and Metal Galaxy, fuck, those are phenomenal, dude. The damn genre hopping, it's like this, unpredictable. It is not boring. The new Baby Metal, every song sounds the same. Just Japanese heavy metal with a little bit of electronics in there.
It was not that great. I was
Not at
very
all.
disappointed. So like so far though,
2 stars.
so far this year, there's only been like a handful.
New Lana Del Rey, dig it.
I don't know so long.
New Metallica, I gotta finish
Get
it.
to it so we can review it and I can tell you how much it sucks.
New Smashing Pumpkins, Autumn.
I didn't like it.
I said this before. I was like, y'all are walking on thin ice, doing a sequel to one of the greatest concept albums of the '90s. That was Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. When y'all, there's a handful of shit on here I like a lot. The rest of it, motherfucking boring. This is a 3-disc album. And it's boring! Fucking Smashing Pumpkins. New Aid Partridge, really fucking good.
Yeah, but no one knows.
The new Dropkick Murphy is really good. The new Kesha, it's alright, I like it okay. I dig it. Kind of reminds me of Tune Yards. A lot of this new Kesha reminds me of Tune. I like where Kesha's going. She is away from that up in the morning with a bottle of Jack.
Oh, that's Kesha. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't remember.
Kesha's a lot better than she used to be. I will still
Some
say.
people mature.
Yeah, her first 2 albums are dog shit, but from Rainbow on up, she gets better. The new Ghost EP,
It's covers.
it's fine. Yeah, it just covers. I like the We Don't Need Another Hero cover the best, and the Jesus He Knows Me cover.
I love that video.
The video's great, dude.
Video's
The Circle
fantastic.
Jerk, the fucking Circle Jerk.
The hockey players.
Fucking love it.
This shit was so good.
And he
just
combs
like,
it in his hair, dude. I'm like, yes, we're doing
I
it.
love that shit. Like the
Oh,
video was fantastic.
God. Dave Lombardo's first solo album, really good, but not a lot to say. I mean, just instrumental drum music with cool, weird, atmospheric shit in the background. New Avenged Sevenfold. And the new Bully album. The new Bully album is fantastic. If you miss the 90s, listen to Bully. She sounds like
Bully?
Bully, B-U-L-L-Y. She sounds like old, I'm losing my words. Old Liz Phair. She sounds like old Veruca Salt. She sounds like, it just sounds like good early 90s '90s, early to mid '90s alt rock. The guitar tones, the vocals, they're just crazy. You could listen to some bully shit and swear it came out in like '94. Love the shit out of it because I'm insanely nostalgic for the old '90s sound.
I've been waiting for someone to try to bring back grunge and just do something different.
Basically, what's that sounds like.
I want to see like a grunge band. Like there's bands that kind of try, but they don't really pull it off.
There's another one, a group of ladies, Skating Polly. They got a new album coming out at the end of the month. They sound like Old Hole and Old Veruca Salt.
Nobody likes Old Hole.
I fucking love Hole, man.
No, Old Hole.
Old Hole is the shit.
I'm gonna tell people in public that.
Old Hole is better than New Hole.
It's a lot of holes, man.
They're pretty close to the old grunge sound. But yeah, you're right, man.
Like I just think
even the old grunge bands don't sound like that anymore.
Right. I mean,
Bush, Pearl Jam,
right.
you know.
Bush. I mean, you know, David. What's his nuts or whatever. Gil.
From Bush.
Yeah. What's his fucking name?
Gavin. Rossdale.
Yeah. You know, Bush sounds like him. I mean, he's pretty much.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for him, it'd be like. Right, like if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't sound like Bush.
Swallow.
Gavin is the only reason why that band sounds like Bush. So, yeah, they kind of do. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Though, like, there's not. I mean, plus there's not a lot of grunge bands obviously around. You know, these.
A lot of them died.
Yeah, drugs are bad. Okay. but I mean, I would love to like you hear some bands come out and they have grunge like aspects to the songs, and then it goes too heavy. Like, you know, like usually when someone tries to enter in a grunge, and it's not like I don't have a thing for grunge music.
I love it, man.
I mean, but I enjoy it. Like, you know, I used to hate it at first when I was younger, when I was a kid, you know, because it wasn't cool. You know, I'm 2000s, late 2000s high school kid, so it was all about new metal.
On that shit.
I love new metal, man, but like the grunge stuff, I've been wanting more. And there's a few bands that kind of catch it like a little bit here and there, but they change it up too much to where it's not grungy anymore.
Yeah.
They add too much of some other kind of sound. I'm just like, damn, you had it there.
There are certain guitar tones, there are certain ways. Like a big thing is the soft for the verse, you know, and then crank it up for the chorus.
Yeah, and you know, I'm waiting for that sound. I think like that's gonna be something like, oh my god, this new grunge band, and like I'm waiting for that sound. Like a lot of people are trying to do like they'll do little things like Poppy. You know, she does her back to the past kind of style.
Her last album had a lot of Veruca Salt versus
and that's why I love that.
Jill
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I love that shit. Like,
if you like it, check out Bully.
If
you like that, check out Skating Polly. Skating Polly is probably heavier than Bully. Bully, like I said, sounds like some good ass Veruca Salt or good ass Liz Phair. Whereas Poppy can sound like Kitty.
Kitty's talking about coming out with a new album.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's in the maybe next year. We might get it at the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
Skating Polly gets a lot heavier, but Skating Polly, like roller skates.
I have to check that out.
Then there's two ladies and they sing and swap vocals. Really cool. Love the shit out of them. And weirdly enough, they did a EP, 3 songs with Nina Gordon and Louise Post from Veruca Salt.
There you go.
Yeah. And Louise Post just released her first solo album a couple weeks ago, and I'm still waiting on mine to goddamn come in the mail. Anyway, but
I'm still waiting for it. But yeah, I would say
that's where we're at.
Definitely,
because the '90s had a certain tone to their guitars and a certain production. The Pixies, I love the Pixies. Their newer shit still sounds like Pixies, but without Kim Deal, man, it just ain't working. No Kim, no deal.
I think I'm waiting for another Silverchair.
I don't think we'll ever get another Silverchair.
I mean, I loved Freak Show. Like, that was one of my first, like, I got
Freak Show is the shit. And Frog Stomp is
Frog
the
Stomp
shit.
was good, but I heard Freak Show before.
Yeah, I still gotta get Neon Ballroom, but like, there's some good shit on there too, man. Like the Year 2000 song. What the fuck was that called? In the youth in the year 2000. That almost had like Marilyn Manson vibes.
But unfortunately, you know, what's his name died. Did he overdose?
Who
The
died?
singer.
No.
I thought he overdosed for Silverchair.
No. I know he's had a lot of problems.
Or he had a lot of
He
drugs.
got like
in him.
arthritis for a minute and had anorexia.
I don't know. Anyway, so Avenged
But-
Sevenfold, 10.
Comment your comments in the comments. I got a 10. He's got a 10. What do you guys have? Do you hate them? Do you love them?
I'm really curious. If you hate them,
Tell us why.
Tell us why.
And
Don't be a
don't
dick.
say they're overrated. I will never listen to a person. I love opinions. But if someone tells me they hate something or they don't like something because it's overrated, I will not listen to you further. Because here's the thing. When you say something's overrated, that is your only defense. Explain to me why they're... Because things are popular for a reason. I don't care. Things are popular for a reason. I'll never say 500 Death Punch is overrated. I'm going to explain to you why I don't like it. Why I'm not a fan. Why it doesn't work for me. Do not say they are overrated. But the people that do say it, I know you're going to be saying it as a joke, just to fuck with us, because I just went on this rant.
Metallica's overrated.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
They're not. They're just fucking
Everyone
Metallica.
loves Metallica. They
just
fucking
Metallica.
poop in a drum snare, and they're like, Lars is God. And like, even though his fucking drums sound like a poop in a drum snare.
His drums or whatever, Metallica is perfectly mediocre.
I hate Metallica.
That's the thing. They're just perfectly
People like
mediocre.
like
They are
just
doing what the
boring.
motherfuckers want. When that
They've
new
gotten
shit
so
come
big,
out,
they just live off their name.
yeah, dude. When
I
that new
hate
song
that,
came
though.
out, so many people were like, "Oh man, Metallica's back! It sounds like '80s Metallica." And I'm like,
No, it doesn't.
where were you with the last two albums? Fucking Death Magnetic and Hardwired. Those sounded like old Metallica. You know, did you skip those two?
When we get a Metallica,
Do you only remember Saint Anger?
right? When we get a Metallica album that sounds like a Justice for All, I'll start listening to them again.
I'll only listen to that one.
All right.
I mean, but, well, just let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys later.